Hi my friends, let's continue this very important course, and the next lesson is 400 phrasal verbs part 13. She really freaked out when she heard that she had got that job. Freaked out or went mad or became really angry. She really freaked out when she heard that she had got a job. She really freaked out when she heard that she had got a job. They tried to get away from the police, but they were soon caught. To get away or to escape from the police. They tried to get away from the police, but they were soon caught. She really freaked out when she heard that she had got a job. They tried to get away from the police, but they were soon caught. Trying to get by on such a small sum of money seems absolutely absurd. To get by or to live on. Absurd. Absurd or ridiculous. Trying to get by on such a small sum of money seems absolutely absurd. Trying to get by on such a small sum of money seems absolutely absurd. She realized it only later that she had been taken in. Taken in or deceived. She realized it only later that she had been taken in. Trying to get by on such a small sum of money seems absolutely absurd. She realized it only later that she had been taken in. The girl put her toys away before going to bed. She put them in their usual place. The girl put her toys away before going to bed. Do you like to dress up, or maybe you prefer to wear more informal clothes? To dress up or to wear formal clothes. Do you like to dress up, or maybe you prefer to wear more informal clothes? The girl put her toys away before going to bed. Do you like to dress up, or maybe you prefer to wear more informal clothes? The house burned down in less than half an hour, or was destroyed by fire. The house burned down in less than half an hour. I wouldn't like to get down to basics. So to start with the basics, with the most basic things. I wouldn't like to get down to basics. She turned into a very successful businesswoman. Turned into or transformed into or changed into. She turned into a very successful businesswoman. The house burned down in less than half an hour. I wouldn't like to get down to basics. She turned into a very successful businesswoman. His salary isn't high, but he gets by somehow. But he lives on this money somehow. His salary isn't high, but he gets by somehow. He burst out laughing. We say to burst out doing something. It means that he started laughing suddenly. He burst out laughing. He burst into laughter. Burst into something, but burst out doing something. He burst into laughter. He burst into laughter. His salary isn't high, but he gets by somehow. He burst out laughing. He burst into laughter. The thieves tried to get away with the money, but their plan fell through. To get away or to escape with the money fell through or failed. The thieves tried to get away with the money, but their plan fell through. I didn't want to read that book, so I put it away. I put it in its usual place. I didn't want to read that book, so I put it away. The thieves tried to get away with the money, but their plan fell through. I didn't want to read that book, so I put it away. Do you like dressing down, or do you prefer to wear more formal clothes? To dress down or to wear informal clothes? Do you like dressing down, or do you prefer to wear more formal clothes? It's typical practice in many offices to dress down on Friday or to wear informal clothes. It's a typical practice, or it's common practice, or it's typical practice in many offices to dress down on Friday or on Fridays. Do you like dressing down, or do you prefer to wear more formal clothes? It's typical practice in many offices to dress down on Friday. Come on, Alex. Come on. Come on, what's up? Come on, Alex. I got into a car. I got into a car. We say to get in a car or to get into a car. I got in a car or I got into a car. Hang on a second, or hold on a second, or wait a second. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. She burst out crying. She started crying suddenly. She burst out crying. Come on, Alex. I got into a car. Hang on a second. She burst out crying. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. I was asked to hang on a couple of seconds. To hang on or to wait. I was asked to hang on a couple of seconds. You don't need to dress up for dinner. Yeah, to dress up, the first meaning is to wear more formal clothes, and the second meaning to put on special clothes for entertainment. Try special clothes for entertainment. You don't need to dress up for dinner. You don't need to dress up for dinner. Come on, let's go. I was asked to hang on a couple of seconds. You don't need to dress up for dinner. Don't be taken in by their false promises, or don't be deceived. Don't be taken in by their false promises. Let's get down to business. So let's start doing something really serious, but not just wasting time. Let's get down to business. It's often said that children love dressing up. It means that they like putting on some clothes for entertainment. It's often said that children love dressing up. Don't be taken in by their false promises. Let's get down to business. It's often said that children love dressing up. I do realize that I need to make up for the lost time somehow. To make up or to compensate. Try to keep up with someone. I do realize that I need to make up for the lost time somehow. He was very sad to see that all the food had gone off or had spoiled. To go off or to spoil. He was very sad to see that all the food had gone off. I do realize that I need to make up for the lost time somehow. He was very sad to see that all the food had gone off. She didn't want to talk to him anymore, so she hung up on him. Or so she hung up. She ended a telephone conversation. She didn't want to talk to him anymore, so she hung up on him. They burned down the village. They burned down the village. They got into trouble. We say to get into trouble or to get in trouble. They got into trouble. She didn't want to talk to him anymore, so she hung up on him. They burned down the village. They got into trouble. How will they make up for these losses? Or how will they compensate? How will they make up for these losses? I wanted to talk to her, but she hung up. I wanted to talk to her, but she hung up. He freaked out when he heard the news. He freaked out when he heard the news. He became really angry or furious. How will they make up for these losses? I wanted to talk to her, but she hung up. He freaked out when he heard the news. He always stands out in a crowd or looks special, not like others. He always stands out in a crowd. Some people say that all kids like dressing up, but it isn't necessarily so. Some people say that all kids like dressing up, but it isn't necessarily so. He always stands out in a crowd. Some people say that all kids like dressing up, but it isn't necessarily so. This tiny, shy girl turned into a real superstar. This tiny, shy girl turned into a real superstar. I know that he often stands out in a crowd, but it isn't for me. I know that he often stands out in a crowd, but it isn't for me. All the food went off, or spoiled. All the food went off. This tiny shy girl turned into a real superstar. I know that he often stands out in a crowd, but it isn't for me. All the food went off. She burst into tears, or she burst out crying. She started crying suddenly. She burst into tears. I was really astonished to hear that a recently built hospital had been burned down. I was really astonished to hear that a recently built hospital had been burned down. All the guests were dressed up in the clothes of their favorite movie characters. All the guests were dressed up in the clothes of their favorite movie characters. The only thing which stands out in his speech is that his judgments aren't based on real facts. The only thing which stands out in his speech is that his judgments aren't based on real facts. All the guests were dressed up in the clothes of their favorite movie characters. The only thing which stands out in his speech is that his judgments aren't based on real facts. She says that their family can barely get by on $700 monthly, or can hardly get by or live on. She says that their family can barely get by on $700 monthly. As a student, she stands out from the rest of the class. She looks very special, not like the rest of the class. As a student, she stands out from the rest of the class. She says that their family can barely get by on $700 monthly. As a student, she stands out from the rest of the class. I suppose you need to get away from it all for a couple of days or so, to get away from it all or to escape the place you live in. I suppose you need to get away from it all for a couple of days or so. This cute baby turned into a very talented musician who reached worldwide fame and overall recognition. This cute baby turned into a very talented musician who reached worldwide fame and overall recognition. I suppose you need to get away from it all for a couple of days or so. This cute baby turned into a very talented musician who reached worldwide fame and overall recognition. As it seems to me, it's time to get down to the very basics, or to the most basic things. As it seems to me, it's time to get down to the very basics. As they say, it is very easy to waste time, but it isn't always possible to make up for it, or to compensate it. As they say, it is very easy to waste time, but it isn't always possible to make up for it. As it seems to me, it's time to get down to the very basics. As they say, it is very easy to waste time, but it isn't always possible to make up for it. Off the record, I do have to dress up sometimes, but it isn't exactly what I really like. Off the record, I do have to dress up sometimes, but it isn't exactly what I really like. The kids were dressed up as characters of different fairy tales. The kids were dressed up as characters of different fairy tales. Off the record, I do have to dress up sometimes, but it isn't exactly what I really like. The kids were dressed up as characters of different fairy tales. She put down the phone and burst into tears. She put down the phone and burst into tears. Some time passed, and he understood that he had been taken in, or deceived. Some time passed, and he understood that he had been taken in. She put down the phone and burst into tears. Some time passed, and he understood that he had been taken in. He couldn't control himself any longer and burst out laughing. He couldn't control himself any longer and burst out laughing. I put away the book, which I had been reading for about half an hour. I put away the book, which I had been reading for about half an hour. He couldn't control himself any longer and burst out laughing. I put away the book, which I had been reading for about half an hour. If you don't mind, we can get down to business. If you don't mind, we can get down to business. It's high time we go down to work. It's high time we go down to work. First of all, you should get down to basics. First of all, you should get down to basics. If you don't mind, we can get down to business. It's high time we go down to work. First of all, you should get down to basics. Speaking of the record, I don't like dressing up. Speaking of the record, I don't like dressing up. Speaking of the record is just, it's between you and me. Speaking of the record, I don't like dressing up. Most children like dressing up in adults' clothes. Right, adults or adults. Most children like dressing up in adults' clothes. Speaking of the record, I don't like dressing up. Most children like dressing up in adults' clothes. I prefer to wear casual clothes, so I don't really like dressing up. I prefer to wear casual clothes, so I don't really like dressing up. He got in the car and started the engine. He got in the car and started the engine. I prefer to wear casual clothes, so I don't really like dressing up. He got in the car and started the engine. I don't remember what time it was when I got on the bus. We say to get in a car, but to get on the bus or on the train or on the plane. I don't remember what time it was when I got on the bus. Suddenly, he asked me to get in his car. Suddenly, he asked me to get in his car. I don't remember what time it was when I got on the bus. Suddenly, he asked me to get in his car. The boy was asked to put his toys away. The boy was asked to put his toys away. Her children always put their toys away before going to bed. Her children always put their toys away before going to bed. The boy was asked to put his toys away. Her children always put their toys away before going to bed. I need to put away all my clothes because the gas will come soon. I need to put away all my clothes because the gas will come soon. Don't drink this milk. because it has gone off. Don't drink this milk because it has gone off. I need to put away all my clothes because the guests will come soon. Don't drink this milk because it has gone off. If I were you, I wouldn't drink this milk because it seems to me that it has already gone off. If I were you, I wouldn't drink this milk because it seems to me that it has already gone off. I have no doubt that this food has gone off because it smells really awful. I have no doubt that this food has gone off because it smells really awful. If I were you, I wouldn't drink this milk because it seems to me that it has already gone off. I have no doubt that this food has gone off because it smells really awful. This adorable baby turned into a real superstar. This adorable baby turned into a real superstar. That little smart boy turned into a real genius. That little smart boy turned into a real genius. This adorable baby turned into a real superstar. That little smart boy turned into a real genius. A small spark can turn into a big fire. A small spark can turn into a big fire. It was very rude of him to hang up on her. It was very rude of him to hang up on her. I don't like people who hang up on you. I don't like people who hang up on you. A small spark can turn into a big fire. It was very rude of him to hang up on her. I don't like people who hang up on you. Don't hang up on me. I haven't finished talking to you yet. Don't hang up on me. I haven't finished talking to you yet. The whole village was burned down by the invaders. The whole village was burned down by the invaders. Don't hang up on me. I haven't finished talking to you yet. The whole village was burned down by the invaders. By the time the electricity was turned on, the candle had already burned down. By the time the electricity was turned on, the candle had already burned down. He accidentally burned down his house. He accidentally burned down his house. By the time the electricity was turned on, the candle had already burned down. He accidentally burned down his house. Come on, let's give it a try. Come on, let's give it a try. Come on, let's give it a try. Or let's try it. Or we can say, let's give it a try. Come on, let's give it a try. Come on, we need to hurry up. Come on, we need to hurry up. Come on, we're missing the last train. Come on, we're missing the last train. Come on, let's give it a try. Come on, we need to hurry up. Come on, we're missing the last train. As soon as she saw him, she burst out crying. As soon as she saw him, she burst out crying. The joke was so funny that he burst out laughing. The joke was so funny that he burst out laughing. As soon as she saw him, she burst out crying. The joke was so funny that he burst out laughing. She burst out crying after she heard that he had passed away. She burst out crying after she heard that he had passed away. It still remains a mystery for me how they get by on such little money. It still remains a mystery for me how they get by on such little money. She burst out crying after she heard that he had passed away. It still remains a mystery for me how they get by on such little money. Speaking of the record, I particularly like dressing down. Speaking of the record, I particularly like dressing down. Don't eat this food because it has gone off. Don't eat this food because it has gone off. Speaking of the record, I particularly like dressing down. Don't eat this food because it has gone off. Don't be so naive to be taken in by them because it's a lie. Don't be so naive to be taken in by them because it's a lie. The prisoners were planning to get away, but they failed to do it. The prisoners were planning to get away, but they failed to do it. Don't be so naive to be taken in by them because it's a lie. The prisoners were planning to get away, but they failed to do it. The news can freak you out, so you'd better sit down. The news can freak you out, so you'd better sit down. She hung up on him when he started shouting at her. She hung up on him when he started shouting at her. The news can freak you out, so you'd better sit down. She hung up on him when he started shouting at her. If I were him, I wouldn't hang on to her because she doesn't love him at all. Hang on to or hold. If I were him, I wouldn't hang on to her because she doesn't love him at all. The joke was so funny that everyone burst into laughter. The joke was so funny that everyone burst into laughter. If I were him, I wouldn't hang on to her because she doesn't love him at all. The joke was so funny that everyone burst into laughter. Dressing down on Fridays is common practice for many offices. Dressing down on Fridays is common practice for many offices. I have serious doubts that they will ever be able to make up for such huge losses. I have serious doubts that they will ever be able to make up for such huge losses. Dressing down on Fridays is common practice for many offices. I have serious doubts that they will ever be able to make up for such huge losses. He freaked out when he knew that he had won the lottery. He freaked out when he knew that he had won the lottery. I think they can get into trouble if they carry on doing it. I think they can get into trouble if they carry on doing it. He freaked out when he knew that he had won the lottery. I think they can get into trouble if they carry on doing it. Come on, give it a try. Come on, give it a try. I wouldn't hang on to him because he has such a bad reputation. I wouldn't hang on to him because he has such a bad reputation. Come on, give it a try. I wouldn't hang on to him because he has such a bad reputation. Burst into, get in, burn down, turn into, burst out, stand out, freak out, hang up, hang on, fairy tale, adorable, businesswoman, cute, invader, judgment, laughter, prisoner, tiny, worldwide. My friends, thank you so much. Let's continue this very important course.